Hey guys, welcome to another Lucy Show live stream. All right, so today we're going to talk about a whole different topic. I just could not help myself. I told you guys that I've known about this case for a while now. I refuse to kind of dig deep as hard as the media is throwing it at me every single day. So, disappearance of Gabby Petito. So this has been all over the news for quite a while now. And from what I understood earlier is that it already blew up all of the news. Like every single news outlet was already reporting about it, like Los Angeles Times, you got CNN, you got Fox News. Everybody is talking about it every single day before this girl was even declared to have her body found. So before it could have just been a disappearance, before it could have just been, who knows, maybe they just got into a fight and, she's not found, but later on she'll appear. But it was just crazy to me how this whole story got so much coverage, even though there's so many different things going on around the world, if you think about it, and so many people who are announced to be dead and have their body found and not get that much coverage all of the news. There's not a single time that I could literally go on the internet without seeing it surface. So it really made me reflect today and think about the fact that we have to collectively think about what is being represented to us in the media and exactly what type of news is chosen by these media outlets to tell us about, and why is it that there are only certain types of cases that we hear about, and we hear about quite often. Whereas I'm sure there are tons of other murders with couples out there that are not being reported at all. You never hear about them. I mean, I'm sure this is like pretty much the biggest case that I've heard about a missing person case since before it was even considered a homicide or deemed a homicide for like the past 5 years of my life. I've never read a missing person report case that was that big of a deal than this one. So I just really want to get it out there, like my thoughts on this. I don't know what you guys are thinking about this, but I just could not like kind of see it every day and not think and reflect upon the fact that it's just crazy how this piece of news is just being repeatedly talked about when there's so many other things in this world and other disappearances that I wish I knew about. I feel like, one, it isn't fair, but then sometimes I think about it and I'm like, maybe this is what either the news outlets are just choosing to talk about this because that's the type of news that they want out there, or is it that it's our society? And our society is clicking into news like this more often. That's why news outlets are willing to portray stuff like this more often. So I don't know what comes first. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg situation. So is it like, for example, Fox News already knows the popularity of something like this, two young people and someone that's actually, the female is obviously quite good looking. So is it that the media wants to portray young people who are good looking and then just put them on the top of the news before it's even considered a homicide? That's what they want, and because they know that that's what makes money? Or is it that society usually clickbaits that anyways, and we're the reason why the news outlets are sending that type of information out, because that makes the most money? So it is just something that I was thinking about today. I was very curious. Yeah, this cause is one of the most covered in news history. Yeah, I mean, I didn't do any research on if it's the most covered news, but it feels like it. I mean, I still did not read an entire article on this entire situation yet, but I know about it without even wanting to know about it. It's just in my face every single day. Did an option like 2 weeks ago. Hi, Ant. Thanks for coming into my live stream on this second channel, guys, by the way, those of you that I recognize from the first channel, Living with Lucy. If you want to see like stock crypto stuff, by the way, you're going to have to go on my main channel. This channel is left for just entirely anything that's on my mind. I want to get out there that has really nothing to do with stocks and crypto. I mean, it may have stuff to do with money. Like I said, it's just talking about how news outlets, I wonder if it is a situation between what makes them the most money, hence that's why they are sending out the type of news that they are, or they're just controlling the entire media, and this is the stuff that they want us to care about. It's like they want us to care about young people who, well, homicide, one murders the other person, and I guess they don't really care about putting 2 people who are maybe in their 60s and did the same thing in the news, because I never hear about stuff, people who are like middle-aged or in their 60s just plastered all of the news if it was like some type of murder story. I don't know, when's the last time you guys remember anything like that? I don't. They have made a lot of money off this murder. Yeah, I'm sure. But I feel like every single news outlet has made a ton of money just by reporting this. I can't imagine the amount of money they get just by like snapping a photo or getting autopsy report information first. If the boyfriend didn't do it, he got the crazy dude that killed those other 2 women that got killed at the same place to do it. Bennett Jr. The fiance did it, Giorgio. Well, I think that's what everybody is insinuating since way before it was even deemed a murder. Like, just when she disappeared, everybody was like, oh my God, he killed her. Like, it's definitely him. Honestly, in the very beginning, I was just confused. Like, to me, it's not about who killed who. I mean, I feel like it most likely is the guy. I think that's what our entire society believes. But I believe in proof. I believe in evidence. So if there is evidence, then he will go to jail. For me, it was just confusing to me why this was plastered all over the news before the body was even found. Like, there are so many other things that happen in the world where people get murdered and there's real proof that they got murdered. And you don't hear that on the news every single day. They have... The boyfriend for sure did it. John was, yeah, Ryan, lots of money. I mean, that's why it makes me sad that to think about this is how generations that grow up on news like this is going to think like this is the stuff that matters. And maybe it's what's causing people to kind of only, and it's like, is it ageism too? Maybe it's what's causing people to only focus on the young. And it's like when you get things like elderly being hit or being attacked, you don't get coverage like this. I mean, when I was hearing news and seeing videos of elderly people getting attacked in like New York or San Francisco, I don't see it being plastered all over the news to the point where you can't look away. It's just really unfair if I think about it like that. But it is what it is. And sometimes I wonder, is it us? Is it maybe society? And maybe we're the reason why this type of stuff is being plastered on number 1, because this is the stuff that gets the most clickbait. It's like a YouTube thumbnail. It's like people always want to put out a thumbnail that looks clickbaity. So people will go and click into it and then you make more money. So it's either us or it's the media that's literally telling you what's popular, what's not, what you should focus on, and what you shouldn't really care about. And I'm not saying that just because you're not reporting about something, it means they don't care about it. But I mean, this is literally how most people are going to grow up thinking. Like if you're not, or if a certain race is not being portrayed in terms of criminal cases, then do we not care that these certain races or people in this age group are dying, maybe in the exact same way, but we're just portraying the young ones and preferably better looking young people? You are correct, Lucy, because remember when we was kids, we wasn't allowed to see that kind of stuff on TV. Yeah, him hiding and running clearly shows he is guilty. Yeah, even before the body was found, I think the guy was already kind of in hiding, but then it kind of sucks the way that I guess the justice system does work. There wasn't any proof that she was dead. So obviously he has the right to leave and not be held up in jail because there is no proof that anything really happened to her. It's kind of sad. I mean, if this was like my child and knowing that my child is missing and this person most likely did it is free to like go to Mexico or anywhere they want is kind of terrible. Because of the media plastering this everywhere, the government, FBI, plus police has spent so much resources for this. Yes. And I wonder who made more money or what amount of money was spent, what was spent or what was more, what was spent on this entire research or what was made off of everybody that was involved in reporting it. The media made the most money, no brainer. Did you see how messed up the back of their truck was in the video? Can't believe the police didn't even search it. No, I didn't, Spanish John. I mean, let me look into, like, I'm just going to be on Google right now so I can't see your chat. Like, I really just, it's not like I'm desensitized to all this news and murder cases. Like, you guys know how much I love a murder mystery. Like, I'm obsessed with Riverdale, and I'm going to watch Only Murders in the Building soon. Like, I like solving cases, but I'm not sure how much I love just clicking into whatever the news reports to me on like Google or Yahoo News and every single news outlet, because I don't like seeing, I don't know if it's like you guys are like this, but I just don't like being forced to see something when I know that there are so many other cases out there. Like, sometimes I will click onto whatever is like the most popular. This one, I honestly was just, it felt like it was just being shoved in my face. So anyways, I typed in, what is Gabby Petito's cause of death? The FBI has confirmed that the human remains found along the border of the Grand Teton National Park has those of 22-year-old Gabby Petito, bless her. Oh my goodness, I can't believe she's so young, who disappeared while on a cross-country road trip, and that her death was a homicide. Petito's body was found Sunday near an undeveloped camping area northeast of Jackson, Wyoming. And wow, we got like a timeline of the entire case on CNN, tons of videos on YouTube, NBC News, CBS News. Wow. Also, I guess she was a travel blogger. Okay, so she was like always in the media. I've never heard of this travel blogger, but I guess she was always pretty active on the media before all this happened. And Brian Laundrie, is his name pronounced like laundry? Brian Laundrie argued in Wyoming restaurant hours before Gabby Petito vanished. It's just really, really sad to see this stuff happening. And once again, for anybody who's watching, I don't know if the moment will come and you'll get into a fight with somebody that you're with. I just don't think it's worth it. Murder is never the answer. And most people, you just have to accept the fact that you are not smart enough to outsmart the FBI and the cops. So most likely you're going to be leaving a trail of evidence. So why even do it? Just, it's not worth it. I don't think any type of relationship, no matter how south it goes, is worth killing someone over. I mean, I've also been in bad relationships, but you just wish badly upon them. Just mentally try to make sure bad things happen to them, but you don't actually have to do anything. It probably wasn't planned. Oh, so you mean like it just happened? Yeah, I think that's what most murders, honestly, in my opinion, I think that's where it stems from. Just like this crazy blackout rage that people get, because I think a lot of people don't think about how they're going to react. And even some of you may think like, oh, you'll know how you'll react if somebody were to cheat on you, or maybe you get into a fight or whatever, a certain argument. You think you'll never do anything, but you won't really know till it actually happens. Or maybe I think people just don't process enough and think about this stuff. That's why I like watching crime shows, even though there are certain situations I don't think I'll ever be able to understand. For example, if growing up, like, I don't know, Ted Bundy was your father or something. But I like to put myself in these like random scenarios where I'm like, what if this happened to me, how would I deal? And personally, I think that's pretty healthy, because you can just like kind of prepare yourself for the worst. If the worst were to happen, at least you have an idea of how you thought you may kind of handle the situation. The family claims he is missing. FBI plus police spending lots of money looking at an incorrect area. Okay, here's my problem. We already know that the government has a lot of information on where most of us are. I think Edward Snowden helped a lot with that. So how hard is it really to track someone down if they really wanted to? And like, is it really even a matter of money anymore? That's what confuses me. Like, is it really hard to find someone if it's true that our phones are recording things around us, every single day? And if I thoroughly do believe that there is a machine and it could track down anybody in this world. I mean, unless you were born in a hole like 6 feet below and you've just been there your whole entire life, I'm pretty sure that the government, one way or another, all of the world, I'm not just talking American government, China, obviously, can find you. I think it's just a matter of, do they want to use that resource to find you? But I don't think it's a matter of cost if they really wanted to use it. Brian Laundrie was her fiance. Oh God, Golder. I did not even know this. Like, this isn't, like I said, I've been trying to avoid this entire situation when she just was known as being disappeared, like that she disappeared before any body was found, because I was confused. Like, why do we care about this if nobody was actually in fact murdered? And now it's obviously a homicide, but still, to me, maybe it's just kind of cold, but I really feel like there are so many other things that go on every single day. And if we're talking disappearances, I saw statistics the other day that there are somewhere around 900,000 children every year that disappears. And we're talking like global numbers here. I don't hear about that. You don't hear about that stuff. The government is doing something they don't want us to see, so they are making us focus on this crime. Bennett Jr. Yeah, so I think that is something we do need to focus on. What is shown to us in the media is obviously what the media giants want us to care about. And when I say media giants, it's not like I'm labeling them as like a group. It's more of just like a wealthy group of people, or a few people who control the media. So really what we see every single day is kind of programmed, and what we care about is definitely programmed. Even everything, like if we're going to really break it down, sometimes I wonder if my entire idea of beauty, for example, and my idea of family, relationships, I would say is at least 65% because of the media. If it wasn't for the media portraying things the way it is, how do most of us even know how we feel about certain things like beauty ideals? Because if you think about it, back in the time era of like Marilyn Monroe, chubbier women with more meat on their bones were deemed super popular. This is like before the era of super skinny, tall, model-like beings. So beauty standards definitely change over time. And it's like, who do you think rules that? The media. Hi, Don. Great topic. Thank you. Rupert Murdoch. There's like 10,000 homeless people under a bridge in Texas. Like, this country is crazy. Oh my God, that's insane. I've never seen something like that. 10,000 homeless people under a bridge. Yeah, see, this is the stuff that we should be seeing on the news that clearly affects 10,000 homeless people and everybody around there. Like, I remember seeing on the news, I don't know what state it happened to, but I think some woman sued the state because she was walking on the road and there were so many homeless shelters, or like so many homeless people, that she ended up having to, I guess, walk on the road where cars were driving, just to kind of avoid the homeless shelters. And then she got hit by a car, so I think she sued the state. I forgot which one it is. But see, this is the kind of stuff that we really need to see in the news. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not worthy to report Gabby Petito, but it's like, bro, you repeated it like more than 2 weeks now. Think it's time to move on. Maybe you could just tell us about the final results when you actually put him in jail. I think this is just what kind of makes me a little bit fired up when I think about all the things that are not being reported. But yeah, that's just like a small example. Homelessness. The only homeless people don't make them money though. Exactly. And which begs the question, guys, I really want to know, what do you think? Is it us? Is it society though? Because if you're going to look at 2 articles right now, I'm asking you, if you have an article talking about homeless people, okay, 10,000 homeless people under a bridge, and you know, if you click into this article, you're going to see homeless people under a bridge, you're going to see what the situation is like, what people are thinking about it, or you click into a case like Gabby Petito, disappearance. Let's not even talk about the part where we know it's homicide. Just the fact that 2 couples were in an argument and then one disappeared, okay? Something like that. Which one would you rather click into? Which one would you rather see? And if most of your answer is Gabby Petito, then I think maybe it's not even the media that we can blame. It's kind of ourselves, because we are the ones choosing to click into something like that. There's 1 million homeless off the 405 in LA, Toll Troll says. Oh my God. Can't imagine. Can't, like, if there was like, okay, I think you're just being, yeah, rounding up the numbers because I'm like, if there's a million homeless people off the 405, then I'm pretty sure you can see that. Like even in like on a plane or on a jet somewhere. Facts, Ryan, they don't make money off their real creative problems. They cover the ones they make up. LOL. Yeah, LA is too expensive, so there is a lot of homeless people there. Okay. I do understand Los Angeles is obviously very expensive to live, but I also know that LA County is huge. There are different parts to LA. You can technically have a place for homeless people to stay more east, not more west of Los Angeles, because housing prices, I know for sure, go down when you move east of LA. And I think that goes for most places. I know when I was in Canada, I was told that there are obviously expensive areas and then the much cheaper areas that people can live at if you drive, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 minutes out. So I don't think it's a problem. It's not an issue of like, there's so many homeless people because it's so expensive. I do believe that I think for a place like LA to have so many homeless people, and obviously previously said Texas, has to do with the weather. Because like, you're not going to get a whole bunch of homeless people up in the north. Like, you're not going to get a bunch of homeless people in Canada where it's freezing and my fingers literally cut up into pieces and was bleeding because of how cold and dry it is up in Calgary and like Lake Louise and stuff. So I think sadly the weather has a lot to do with where people are going to move themselves if they have nowhere to live and there's no shelter. I think a place like Texas and a place like Los Angeles is honestly kind of prime for homeless people to want to stay there. I mean, if I'm homeless and I have nowhere to go, I'd rather go somewhere where it's sunny. I don't know, I could just run into the beach. I don't think they allow you, but I feel like if I was homeless, I would need a place for showers and I would just run into the ocean and then come out after 10 minutes in the crazy heat. You'd be all dried up. But I don't think they really let homeless people on the beach, which is really sad. I think like nobody should own the beach. I mean, it's nature. So you should allow homeless people to go and clean themselves up in there. But I could see why a lot of families, people who aren't homeless, are going to complain about it. And that will probably drop the prices of beach houses. But to be honest, I think even if I had enough money to own a beach house, I will not say anything if I see homeless people skinny dipping into the water. Maybe like not in the daytime because obviously there's like children, but maybe at nighttime when no one's around. That should just be a moment for homeless people and anybody who can't afford showers, just go into the ocean. Am I crazy to think this? They ride their bicycles in the hazard lane of the freeway. They use the beach for showers, Ryan says. But no, honestly, I've seen a lot of beaches and I have not seen really a group of homeless people taking showers in nice, expensive neighborhood beaches. I think they probably get the cops to get rid of them before that happens. If I'm homeless, well, why would I care what they want? It's the beach. They break into cars at night, JF says. It sucks. Is the weather and services given to them is why USA Space Force got a new uniform. Karen Smith. Hi, Karen. Looks like that is disgusting. What? Okay, Bennett Jr. says a lot of people camp up here in Mono County. Wow. LA County has a lot of food crops too. But it's sad how there's just, I don't think that's going to be a problem that really ever is solved. And I wouldn't even know how to solve it, to be honest, because even if I ran a state, like Texas or California, I wouldn't really know how to solve the homeless issue. I mean, do we all just become like paying more taxes, make sure people just pay more taxes for the homeless people? But then we might as well just do universal basic income. There's going to be a lot of people who are willing to take free money if it's just like handouts. So I think it's like a big problem that is not easy to solve, but I definitely think there's a lack of effort in solving it. And Look at what Seattle did. They will give you up to 250 needles a month for free. That way you don't get HIV by sharing needles. But it's like saying shoot up, just don't get AIDS. How stupid is that? Wow, I did not know about this. The homeless people should start with wanting to work. Okay, but Bennett Jr. To be fair though, I'm just picturing myself as a homeless person. Even if I wanted work and I couldn't get to proper showers, I couldn't get a proper clean of clothing. This reminds me of the movie Pursuit to Happiness by Will Smith, where he was like, he wasn't even, well, I mean, he was homeless for a while with his son. And then they had to like stay in the subway, I think, in the restroom, which was horrible. But he like basically dropped from standard living or below average poverty line living to literally being homeless. So he like had a shelter, had proper clothing and shoes, to having like literally one set of clothing. So even like that, you have more of an advantage because at least you have like proper business clothing. But if you've been homeless for a while, it's like, how are you going to get a job? It's like, I find it very hard for somebody who's homeless without help, without proper, like without enough money to buy clean, proper, good clothing to get a job. And it sucks. I feel like even I've never owned a business, but if I was a business owner, it's like, am I going to choose someone who doesn't have a home to clean themselves up and come to my office the very next day, being clean and smelling normal? It's sad, but I think I wouldn't choose somebody homeless to work. I mean, I would love to think that I would, but I can understand why the general population probably wouldn't hire somebody who's homeless. Who choose to be homeless do not want those resources. People who are unfortunate and become homeless, there are resources available to them. That's who and what our taxes should be for. In a perfect world, yes, JF, that's where our taxes should be for. I would rather my money go towards the homeless and helping people who actually are in need. I mean, not that they put themselves in there. I have a total different feeling for somebody who, let's say, gambled their house away and their children and their family left them because they chose to make a decision that ruined their own lives. I don't really think my tax dollars deserve to go to somebody like that. But let's say for somebody who actually just went through something crazy traumatic that was not by the fault of their own. Let's say your house burns down, everybody in your family dies, all your belongings go away, and then now you're homeless. I think people like that deserve our tax dollars. I think majority of us would agree. That's where it should go to, more so than military spending, in my opinion. But that's just me. I think every sector is important, though. Like, yes, we do need money for every different sector that helps the country, but definitely homelessness shouldn't have to be an issue that we all have to see and kind of avoid. And I feel really bad about it too, because I don't have enough money to help out all those homeless shelters and stop that from happening. And even if I became a multimillionaire, that's not an issue I think even a multimillionaire can solve in a day, in a year, or whatever, because you're going to have to change the lives of all these people, provide them homes, clean water, food, all that, and make sure that they are willingly going to get jobs and can keep those jobs down. So it's honestly just a lot to think about. My mom is a social worker, Bennett Jr. says, in Virginia, and I know she is way better than the system in California. Oh, I think every state is definitely very different on how they handle things. And I don't know, last time I checked, California is definitely one of the most wealthy states. If my mom worked the social system here like she does in Virginia, then California would be awesome because my mom helps everyone. Your mother, I'm sure, is doing so much good work, Bennett Jr. Sebastian, I'm 408,625 on the wait list. For those of you that don't know, you can check out my video on living with Luci. I posted a video all about those wallets today. I'm happy to say that I am like number 280,000. So that's like a lot better than you, Sebastian. But yeah, could still do a lot better. I wish I was like the top 100, but I'm pretty sure those are probably the employees. We need a better system, in my opinion, Cool Dude says. Yes, I think we need a better way of living, better living standard for everybody. If the way I see it is like, if we could use the blockchain system to create some type of a voting system all over the world, this is like in Asia, Europe, America, everywhere included, I think it would be really awesome if everybody with like, let's say, one social security number or one type of identification. This is kind of nuts, but imagine if they use your fingerprint as your way of being identified as one person, so they can't duplicate your votes. So what if you use your fingerprint and you were able to make one vote and that's it, and it's like on a blockchain so everybody can see it, but you're obviously going to be anonymous, and we all vote on issues like this. Like, if I'm going to pay $100 in taxes, how much of that should really go towards homeless people, and how much of that should go towards fixing the roads or military payments? Like, I would just, blockchain voting is coming. I hope so. I think that's what we deserve, and it would be nice to finally see everything out there. And you could really check, instead of people being like, are the votes rigged and this and that, you can really check to see everybody's votes, and if everything is just kind of laid out on a ledger properly. I mean, I hope that would work out one day. I would be down for that. The future is robots. More people will have less jobs. Yes, Jimbo. I was actually talking about that on my last live stream here. It was kind of like my 10-year prediction. I see 10 years from now, there definitely being mostly robots taking over. You could go check out my predictions for that. But I hope that 10 years from now, blockchain voting is a thing, and we can therefore solve a lot of these problems. Luci, what's your views in John McAfee? I don't have crazy like commentary on that whole situation, honestly. What can I say? I am glad that even though I want to make it on YouTube, and even though I think fame is a good thing to a certain extent, definitely careful who you piss off in the world. And the richer you get, I don't believe in more money, more problems. I think the more money, less problems. But that's why I was telling you guys I wouldn't really want to be a billionaire, because I think when you get so wealthy to the point where you're likely to get a target on your back, that's when you'll probably be checking your back every 2 seconds. And I don't ever want that. That's what I have to say about that whole situation. No way, I got bumped down the list. I was 93,000 in line, and now I'm 170,000 in line. What? They can do that? I just got an email for like what number I'm on. I didn't know that I could be bumped down, but I know you can be bumped up because RH already said that after you sign up. What if a homeless wins the lottery? I don't know. What do you think would happen, Werewolf Light? Do you think that if a homeless person won the lottery, that they would then go and spread the money all over to the rest of the homeless people, their neighbors? Probably not. I don't think that would happen. But that would be one lucky homeless person that would be homeless no more. By the way, my 2 lotto tickets, actually I bought, I guess, twice in a row. So I'm still entered to win for, what is it, Mega Million and Powerball. I highly doubt that I would ever win, but we'll see. We'll see if I'm nice enough to donate to homelessness. if I were to win. I would be a Bitcoin. I would bet a Bitcoin next election will be on the blockchain 2024. JF, I don't know. I think 2024 might be a little bit too soon. I don't even think that'll happen. And that's not because we can't do it. I'm pretty sure the technology would exist by next year if people really wanted to implement that. I just think that the people in the government probably wouldn't want to vote for that. I don't know. I think we would like to see more clarity. We want to see things as clear cut as glass. But I'm sure there's a lot of shady people who would not like to see things happen that way. Zayden, any talk about stocks, crypto? You could save those questions to my live stream, Living with Lucy, which will be on after the stream is over. But I'm going to keep this live stream on for a while, so bear yourselves. And thank you for coming. If you haven't already, please make sure you are smashing that like button for the YouTube algorithm. I really, really do need it for this channel. I am trying to make it grow. If you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed. Ring that notification bell so you know whenever I put out new videos. And just show some love and smash that like button. Much appreciated. I feel like it could go down 2028. Yeah, Bennett Jr., 2028 more likely. And by 2028, it's like, who's going to be our president? I think Kanye West said that he was running for president 2024. Is that still happening? I don't know anymore. I clicked the like button. Thank you, Werewolf. McAfee said many times, whoever writes the programs for the voting software controls the votes. I didn't know about that one, but that seems pretty obvious. Or whoever controls the narrative controls the minds of the people. 2024 is something definitely gonna 2021 the way things are going. Shaking my head, definitely gonna do. I'm smashing 2 things right now. I hope you're smashing it like on my second channel as well. Elon Musk, when launching the Tesla bot, said a universal income will be needed as the robots will make many people redundant. Golder. Yeah, honestly, I can't imagine Tesla not doing well in the coming 4 years, especially with those Tesla bots rolling out. It's like so crazy because I feel like we are living a world right now that's going to change drastically in the next 5 years. I can't imagine the next 5 years looking the way that it does now. Could it be that 5 years from now, you're going to see robots walking people's dogs by then? I can see that happening. Like people staying at home, trading on their Robinhood apps, whatnot, and then having their robots walk their dogs outside. Which, by the way, I heard this crazy story where this dog walker was killed because I think she had one of those waist hook things where instead of holding the leash with your hands, I guess a lot of dog walkers can just hook it like a belt and walk 3 dogs at a time. But I think this one dog walker, I think might have just had 1 dog, and then she had the leash on her belt. And I think the dog, yeah, she got out of the subway train or something, but then the dog was left behind in the subway train. So then the subway doors closed and she didn't notice. And then the train dragged her and she died because basically her dog murdered her. But so sad. I don't know why. I've never thought of this, but that is probably one of the worst natural ways of dying. That should be on Final Destination if they're still making those movies. But that was kind of crazy for me to think about because I never thought that that would be dangerous. That's like one of those things where people invent stuff to make your life easier. So you could like be on your cell phone, text, trade stocks while you're walking your dog. But evidently it could be scary going down in the subway. Definitely 2030. I don't know how people could watch you and not smash the like. Thank you, JF. Go away then. That's my thoughts exactly. Why be here if you're not going to smash the like button? Smash something. Smash a dislike or the like, but do something. Elon Musk said the biggest threat to humanity is AI, which is funny because he's willingly creating robots and making sure that AI is being incorporated in all of our lives, while he knows that that is the biggest threat. But I can see why he's still moving towards AI and moving towards creating these robots, because it really just will help humanity, I think, overall. Like I said, we talked about this in my last video, where I would want a robot to do most of my chores. And I think that would save me a lot of time to just ponder about life, philosophy. I don't think that that would make me more fit, though, honestly. I think my biggest problem against like robots taking over is that I'm afraid. What is that movie? Is it Wall-E? Where humans just got super fat and got lazy and then just end up doing nothing all day long. If everything is done for you and your robot can cook your meals, your robot does all your chores, then unless you are going to take the time and like go to a gym, which I think most of the population, more than 60% of the population in the world, does not do and do not own a gym membership, I think most of us are going to gain a lot of weight from that. Yeah, robots gives you more time to live stream. Yeah, I think if I had a robot that was cooking my meals and doing all my chores, cleaning the floors, all that, I would definitely have more time for live streaming. But then again, I'm using my body less and working out less, moving around less. So I would have an issue with that eventually. I need a chore robot. Yeah. And I think maybe like the world that's not ready, like the population that's not ready for robots, is because I think growing up, a lot of us just had this idea of like, if there were robots like Terminator, they'll destroy us and they'll look like us, replace us. But what if you just made robots that looked nothing like humans and they didn't really talk? I mean, you would want to communicate with them. But what if they look nothing like us? They can't really replace us, but they're just helping us out, doing all these chores for us. I think that that would be more acceptable in people's minds. Luci bot, I would love Elon Musk to make me a robot. That would be fantastic. But then I would love to have some royalties from that. Even a sweet 3% is fine with me, Elon. You can take my brain, the way it functions, my voice, whatever you want. Just give me 3% of all the sales. If the labor shortage never gets better, we are going to be stuck needing the robots, especially in the supply chain. People are not trying to wake up to do physical labor anymore. Yeah, honestly, I think it's crazy what the pandemic has done. Beta Junior, I think it's clear. I can just see even the people around me. People who used to go to work are now like, well, I could just do meetings on Zoom and I could just work at home. So why do I want to spend the money, pay the gas, drive to work, and have to pay extra money when you're eating out at work, unless you bring your own lunch and you're frugal like that? It's like all this extra payment to just to go work for your company when you can just work at home. So I think a lot of people are now shifted in the mindset of just working at home. And that's not going to change anytime soon. And especially with the rise of Robinhood and all these other trading apps recently, like WEBULL, more and more people making money just literally staying at home and trading their stocks in crypto. So I think that needs to be assessed. 90% of your audience will be robots, and they smash that like button so quick no human can dream of doing. Can't wait, Luta. Can't wait to be rich enough to buy myself 90% of viewership from robots. That's what the pandemic was created for, to condition people, JF says. Well, that's a conspiracy theory I've heard multiple times. McAfee said future presidents will be popular idiots from social media that have the most followers. It's the principle of the downfall of society. Honestly, McAfee, at the end of the, I mean, honestly, not McAfee. NE14A, I think whoever does have the most influence will make the most money and have just like a lot of power in everything that they do, like beyond politics, beyond business. There is no such human being that exists, but if there was a human being that, if we had a system that just ran all across the world, right? including North Korea, which obviously we know is not going to happen. But if there was just like, let's say you know what? Twitter. Let's say Twitter ran all across the world, including China and North Korea, everywhere. And there was only 7 billion accounts out there, okay? You can only have 7 billion accounts. You can't have like 2 accounts per person. So let's say there's 1 account per person on Twitter, and Twitter is literally fully globalized. Everybody can use it. And 1 person had 7 billion followers. Imagine that. I don't see that ever really happening in my lifetime. I think obviously that's because the world doesn't know how to play nice and be together as one. Or maybe they're just trying to avoid this very situation. Like imagine if we all had the same access to YouTube, and then just kind of people becoming popular organically. And let's say somebody was convincing enough to be loved by all. 7 billion people in the world all follow this one individual. That is way too much power. I mean, at that point, you can literally just run the world. So I think, in a sense, that's why countries all refuse to work together. If you really did work together, that could be an end result. That maybe the whole entire, not the universe, the aliens too, the whole world could possibly just choose 1 person, and then that 1 person is going to take over really hard and make all the money. So I don't know. I always thought about that. Maybe that's one of the reasons why we'll never get somebody that the entire world could ever follow, because that's going to be a huge issue for every single president out there. Is AI without free will really AI? Weren't you afraid of falling off that crag while dancing? Zayden, you mean my video of me dancing on a rock at Lake Louise? Yeah, it was. I was a little bit afraid of falling off, but I did it. I did it for him. My Doge pillow. Luci bought for planetary leader. Yay. Great. Now Luci is describing the Antichrist. Another movie that seems silly but reminds me of Trump's presidency was Idiocracy. If you haven't seen it, it is free on YouTube. No, I've never heard of it. Thanks for the suggestion. Are you really a robot if you have free will? Are you really a robot if you have free will? I don't know. That's very debatable. Kind of makes me think, if in the future these robots can make their own decisions, yeah, would I deem them just human then? I don't know. That's hard. That's like if my MacBook Air right now could talk to me and tell me it loved hamburgers and that it didn't want me to smash it into pieces, would I feel bad that I just killed it by smashing it into pieces? I don't think I would feel anything, honestly. Like, honestly speaking, I know that's cold, but I don't think I would feel anything because I don't think I can really connect to my MacBook Air in the way that it looks right now, like a laptop. But maybe if my MacBook Air had eyes and a nose and lips and it just reminded me of a human being and then it told me I had feelings, maybe I would find it harder to break it into pieces. But then I feel like that's kind of sick in a sense, where I could only really feel connected to something that looks like a human. So yeah, a little bit weird on that. I developed feelings for my iPhone 7, Karen Smith. I developed feelings for this pillow, but this pillow looks more like a human, or represents more of like a living being than my MacBook Air right now. So robot is drawn from an old church Slavonic word robota for servitude, forced labor, or drudgery. Oh gosh, I did not know that. But yes, I think the first robot, whoever thought about, like a robot first that looks like with a head, like a human looking robot, I think obviously they were trying to create something that was not supposed to be equal to humans, but more likely a servant. And that is kind of what I want, though. I mean, I do want somebody to be my robotic servant to do my chores and clean my floors. So, kind of bad. But I asked a very smart electrical engineer, and he said Skynet will not occur for another 50 years. I don't know how I feel about that. It's kind of dark. That means he believes it will happen. Just will take about 50 years or so. I don't know. I think it all depends how soon we get those robots, humanoid robots. You're watching, I'll be your robot, Lucy. Thanks, but no thanks. I need an actual robot. I'm probably going to buy the Tesla humanoid robot if I can afford it. Jay Silver says, look up iPhone infrared camera. Your phone literally has a hidden camera that takes a snapshot every couple seconds. Crazy stuff. Jay Silver, I'm not surprised. I mean, after having watched the entire Snowden movie, is it a movie or a documentary? I think it was a movie on Netflix. I'm just not in awe about any of it anymore. That's why you guys can't see right now, but I actually put a piece of tape over my MacBook Air. I mean, I have my Logitech camera to do these live streams, but usually whenever I'm not doing live streams, there's nothing looking back at me. But a piece of me is like, I also don't care, because even if we are being watched, I don't think I will ever kind of have this type of footage used against me anytime soon, because you have to be somebody to have people want to blackmail you. I don't think anybody cares about blackmailing me at this point, because I really am just no one. But yeah, I'm not paranoid enough, obviously, to like mask up my iPhone. But I wouldn't be surprised that it's recording me. And all the other apps that I have on my phone, I'm sure there's a few sketchy ones here and there that's just, I don't know, saving all my photo albums to their server, and they have all this dirt on me, but so be it. The FBI is watching you right now, Ryan. Well, hello. This is me. Look at this guy. He didn't wash his dishes all week. FBI. I don't think they have enough time and resources to watch us and our dishes, but I'm sure there's a few slackers out there that is just watching people for fun. Do you like Prince, the artist, the singer? I don't think I own any of his songs like on my music playlist file. So I'm not going to say huge fan, but I have seen clips of him and like Britney Spears. Lucy, I'm your best friend. Thanks, Karen. Thanks for always showing up into the live streams. All my mods, you guys are amazing. Thanks to all the 25 people watching right now. If you haven't already, please smash that like button. Well, the new iOS will call the cops on you for looking a certain type of, I can't even say that word on here. But yes, I've heard about that. It's I think this is only the beginning of 1984 coming to life. Let's just be glad that the US is nowhere close to the amount of surveillance as China has. But I mean, I think there's pros and cons in everything. I'm not just going to put down the fact that I do think China is literally like manifesting 1984 day by day. There are good to it in the sense where I think if I got stabbed on the street in China, I'm pretty sure nobody would dare to do that easily, because they'll know they'll get caught. Like they'll know that the CCP will find you. There's just literally like millions of cameras in that country, so it kind of makes me comfortable if I were to walk on the street there. Granted, it's very hard for me to go to China anytime soon, just because I heard that you have to quarantine like more than 3 weeks. That really doesn't bug me because I don't do anything that wrong. And if I want to use an old computer, oh my God, now soon it will be memes. The United Kingdoms and China have the most surveillance in the world. Oh, I didn't know that the United Kingdom had so much surveillance, but yeah, I always knew that China was probably up there. Your organ would be harvested if you're what? We are in the bath and on the toilet. Oh, while we are in the bath and on the toilet. Snowden exposed the PRISM program almost 10 years ago. I can say with 100% confidence, it's way worse now. Chase Silver, agreed. Yeah, Snowden news is actually very old news. So if you think about how quickly technology is being advanced right now, yeah, that's 100% facts. Everything that we know, 10x it. It's not about blackmail. It's about selling the metadata. It's all about the dough. Prince 1996, when you want to find some isolation, but the tracker you got from vaccination keeps you playing. Facial recognition everywhere in Japan. Not sure about China because I haven't been there. JF, from what I heard, China has some top-notch facial recognition stuff. Yeah, my friend told me that I think some kid drew on a rock in China. Like it was like some like public property, obviously. Like just imagine like a really nice hike or like a sacred rock. And I think some kid drew on it and then he flew back to his own country or some other place. Maybe he was Chinese. I don't know. I think they flew him, like he flew back to his own town or whatever. And then they caught who it was and made sure that he came back to the rock, cleaned it off, and apologized to the rock, I think. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they've got some top-notch facial recognition stuff. Let's just be honest. Asian countries of any sort are much more advanced in technology than we are here in America. Sora shadows. Yeah, 1,000% agreed. But with that being said, I think that if the American government really, really wanted to find you, they will find you. Yeah. It's just that I think in a lot of Asian countries, it's well known the fact that they are really advanced and they can find you easily and you could physically see all the cameras everywhere, which is not the case in America. Multiple fusion centers in USA can pull facial recognition out of local street cameras. The NSA and CIA have the same programs. Look into Vault 7 leaks. Yes. So, but the difference between the US and, for example, China, I would say, is that in China, it's like all the people, all the citizens pretty much know that they are a part of this whole system of being surveillanced. I told you guys that during the pandemic, I was told from a friend that she is happy about having a tracker on her phone because having a tracker on her phone meant that the government in China is always watching. And if she were to come in contact with somebody who, caught COVID, they would then alert her or mark her as an orange zone or zone red so that other people around her would also know that she may have come in contact with somebody who had it. So it's kind of like willingness to the surveillance, which obviously a lot of Americans most likely won't be down for that. I mean, most Americans aren't even down for taking the vaccine. So it's going to be a tough one to get them to willingly participate in this self-surveillance on their own phones. Doge equals do only good every day. Yes. Thank you, Eric the Go Guy. Yes, please smash that like button when you're coming onto my live stream and make sure you are sending that sub button to the moon. Subscribe so you know whenever I put out new videos on this live stream channel. I think CIA, NSA use it when they need to. They stop so many crazy things from happening every day. Yeah. I think in America, they have a lot of power, whether the mass majority knows it or not. I definitely think, like I said, when needed, they will use their power. It's just that local people, regular people like you and I can't just be like, I have a missing sister and I need your system to help me find her. Yeah, that's probably not going to be a thing. But that's also not a thing in China. I don't think you can just go to the CCP and be like, I'm missing my family member. Can you use your awesome machine to help me find it? Lucy, did Lucy get vaxxed? Mr. Amore. Yes, I kind of had to travel. It's kind of necessary. And I told you guys that I knew there was no way most people who want to travel could ever even avoid it. So if you want to travel, it's kind of mandatory. Like a wax figure. Boris Johnson is an embarrassment to my country, but Joe Biddy. Oh, God. Is it just, did you guys hear about Elon Musk throwing shade at our current president? I think it was about, yes, Inspiration 4. Somebody like tweeted like how Inspiration 4 wasn't really talked about by Joe Biddy. So they were kind of starting something between Joe Biden and Elon Musk. America is the most advanced in weapon technology. That's all this country cares about, being advanced in. We don't expect anything. We don't export anything. That should say it all. Bennett Jr. No, I missed it. I was asleep. They are going to get us all with mandate vax. Won't be able to get groceries soon if not vax. Yeah, well, so far all I know is that in New York, you need to show your double vaxxed in order to get into any restaurants. And I'm sure if they do decide to do like a third dose, you're probably going to have to show your third dosage before getting into any restaurants. In California, I'm pretty sure I heard about like the schools needing kids to be vaccinated in order to go in, and the teachers. And I did see a recent Dr. Fauci interview where he was fully like, yeah, we're probably going to have to push the people into getting vaccinated if they're not willingly doing it on their own. And obviously, you guys all know that there's a lot of other vaccinations that children have to take before going to school. Is it meningitis? I think that's one of them, where if you don't take the meningitis shot, you probably can't go to school. So I wouldn't be surprised that they can just do this to children. And if you start them young, I mean, it won't really be an issue later on as the years go by. If all the school children need to be vaccinated in order to go to school, then I'm assuming when those young children grow up, it's just not going to be a problem anymore a couple of years down the road. But to force the adults to do it, it's going to be harder. But obviously, you could force labor into doing it. You could say most jobs. I think most federal jobs have already begun this, right? From what I understand, from what I heard in the radio, is that most government jobs, if you don't get vaccinated, then you can't show up to work. So that's already in play. Just a matter of time before they say you can't work at McDonald's before getting vaccinated, I'm assuming. I don't know. Lots of but then again, my future prediction for McDonald's is that it's just going to be all replaced by robotic arms, which robot arms don't need to be vaccinated anyways. So my neighborhood moved out of state just to avoid vaccinating his son. Oh my gosh. Fauci lied and people died. Literally funded the research in the warfare lab in Wuhan. Brian crossed the Rio Grade. All the Haitians were like, you're going the wrong way, man. In Hawaii, you can't enter into a gym or a restaurant, movie theater, etc. unless you got your card. Okay, so I guess that makes Hawaii and New York for what I know. I think I've heard people say like SF was doing it, but I'm not sure about that one. Celebrities are just people with more attention. That's it. Thank you, Sora Shadows. That is true. I mean, I never thought of them as anything more than just human beings anyways, but which goes back to the title of this current live stream. We really do need to focus on what we see in the media. And sometimes I think the rage we may feel or the unhappiness really just comes from the media. Like everything, a lot of the things that you know, I won't say everything you know, most of what regular folks like you and I are kind of brainwashed to know and feel is thanks to the media and those people that are constantly being portrayed like celebrities. Actually, I would actually go to argue that YouTubers and people who are selected to become more popular on the internet are more organic than just pure celebrities that we may know. For example, celebrities that were given a show, like Paris Hilton when she was younger, or artists that are provided a record label. I feel like in that sense, people, or maybe like even artists with money who were helped maybe by wealthy parents, whatever, to have their own show or have their own records. Those people, you really have to focus on why we even watch them or why we care about them, because it's almost like they got to where they are not by your choice or my choice. It's just literally because they had connections. There could be talent involved too, I'm sure. But you could always buy other people's music. So you just end up seeing it. So it's kind of like the look of that celebrity is most likely just selected and chosen. And they probably had an upper hand compared to other people. Yeah. So definitely focus on what you see out there that's popular and know that it's not really the truth of what people really want. It's just what's thrown in your face every day until you believe that this is what everybody likes or what everybody should look like or want. Conspiracies everywhere. They showed people digging graves frequently during the COVID outbreak. Well, WTF? What? Golder? No, I did not hear about this. Have you seen The Social Dilemma? It's not a suggestion. It's a must watch for every day. I've seen Social Dilemma. Yes, highly, highly recommended for anybody who wonders why they're on Instagram constantly or on Facebook. There's actually a reason to it. There is literally programming behind how much we're addicted. So go check it out. Thanks for reminding me, Got Your, because yeah, that's a great Netflix documentary. I liked it. I don't think it was like, was it 3 episodes? Because I feel like some Netflix documentaries are like 3 episodes. I think that one might just be 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it took me less than 2 hours to watch the whole thing. It was good. It was good. I feel like I already know most of it though, because I love to watch like things on Netflix that talks about like social issues, social media problems, social networking problems. So that one really hit the spot. Most of the stuff I kind of already knew, but I still learned a few new things. Look, anybody thinks that the news they watch is correct, please watch The Social Dilemma. Great doc and will open your eyes. It's one movie done really well. Yes. Okay, so it was one. Same with all the other first responders and medical field professionals. Think about this. Police had to go to work during this whole pandemic with no protection, and now they will be forced to be vaxxed. Not fair to them. JF. Yeah. They showed people left a crushy security engineer job last month because I was contractor of the federal government. I'm sour. Correction is not consent. Coercion, sorry. Coercion is not consent. Yeah, so some engineers in here. It's one, dopamine and social media go hand in hand. There's like major protesting in my state. It's causing so much car traffic everywhere. Mr. Moore, which state are you in again? Sorry, I can't memorize all the states that everybody's in. Or Kanye West. I have a question for room. How many of you know people who have died of COVID? And if so many, I know personally. Got Your says 9. I actually personally know 0. I personally know 0 that have passed away. I personally know 3 to 4. Scratch that. 6 people. 6 people off the top of my head that I personally know who've caught it, but 0 who have actually died. Moro Castillo says, I hate my engineering job. Well, I hope you're looking into other things, because I would hate to just do something that I don't like every day for the rest of my life. Not that I haven't done things I don't like for money, which is probably most jobs that I've had. When I say I liked my jobs, I did like them, but just in the realm of it still being a job. It was bearable, but none of which I loved. I don't have a single person aside from a very elderly cousin, distant on my mother's side, so one, but I know many who tested positive and have been having issues since. Sora, interesting. So I was saying that I know 6 who've had, and they're all good now. Nobody died, and no long-term problem so far. But then again, it's so new that I wouldn't be surprised if more issues arise maybe a year or even 2 years from now. Mr. Amore, I think you and I and all the people on this chat right now feel the same way. I never, ever would have ever imagined that I would live through life and going to the grocery store for so long with mask on. I just never pictured it. I mean, I watched the movie Contagion, and I remember thinking it could be a possibility. But like when I say possibility in my lifetime, I pictured it being like a less than 10% chance. So this whole year and a half has just, and still is, I would say, quite crazy. I think I think humans are very resilient and we are easy to adapt to things. So it's kind of like most of us are used to it now, even though we hate it. I think we're used to our current life situation as a whole, but it's still not, it's not okay. It's still a mess, in my opinion. In terms of those issues, to clarify, blood clotting in one, many with smelling and tasting issues for months. The smelling and tasting issue is an issue, I would say, like 4 out of the 6 people that I know who got it all felt, which always freaks me out. I'm like, if I can't taste and smell one day, I'll probably feel like I've gotten it. 1 or 2 that have a hard time with appetite, so not severe problems. 1984. Did I actually fully read 1984? I don't even think I fully read it. I remember it being a must to read, and it was in school that I had to read it. And I don't remember fully reading every single word. I definitely slacked a lot in school. I think I read a lot of summaries, synopsis, and a couple chapters. I missed the Nickelodeon 90s I grew up in, Bennett Jr. You mean you just missed the good times where we weren't living in a pandemic? I think it's always nice, like we all look at the past with like rose-colored glasses. I was just saying the other day with my friends, like, I would love to be 16 again or something, but I don't actually want to be 16. It's like I would love to have the health and the youth of being 16 again, but I would hate to actually go back to that specific timeline and be 16, because I remember when I was 16, like, it's just, I'm not able to make money because I'm not allowed to. There are many jobs you weren't able to have, no trading accounts. There's like so many things you can't do, which honestly, looking back, I still hate that I was not able to have access to all of this. And like knowing what I know now, I mean, I don't think I would have been the most responsible, but I was a pretty responsible person even at 14, 15, because I was already a telemarketer at like 15 years old and I was already making money. I was saving checks. So if I had the money at 16 and I was able to, let's say, open a trading account, probably would have gone a whole different path and not wasted so much time in university, kind of taking classes that I did not need to take, looking back. Just saying. You're as young as the girl you feel, Golder. It's just a number. Age is just a number. That's what I believe in. Lucy, there is a film. Look at the clips. Might change your mind on robotic servants. I don't know. I still want robotic servants. I want a robot, period. I may not have to call it a servant. It's just somebody who does my chores and everything I want, and I will not in turn give it anything. So I think they will always be servants until I can give them something, right? It's like if my robot servant is cleaning my clothes, but I'm also, I don't know, creating music for it that my robot can dance to and like, then I'm not really giving it anything. So then the relationship is just I'm the master and that's the servant. I was living my best life right before C19. This is such a waste of life. Gotyor says, these years were so lame, but I am fired up for the future. It's okay, Gotyor. Just pretend that these years didn't happen. Let's just pretend that Thanos snapped his fingers and we're just losing these years right now. But you don't even have to really claim that you've aged, okay? Shh. Keep it a secret between us. I miss the Nick. Sorry, guys. Just once 911 hit, Earth has been get more and more crazy. Bennett Jr. Actually, I feel like the world has always been crazy. Maybe some of us just didn't live long enough to feel it. But I think it's interesting how most humans can't live past 100 years old, right? So scratch that. Maybe like 80 to 100. So I think in each of our timelines, it's like you just don't feel like the world is that crazy. But imagine being alive all this time from like the 1800s till now. You could just probably see the craziness in human beings and the world. But it's just like living the amount of years that we're capable of living, you really have to do the research and you really have to look through history to realize just how insane the world is. But it's not even just how insane the world is, it's like how crazy people are. There's our author named Eckhart Tolle, which I like. He writes a book called The Power of Now, which I've never read, but you can listen to the entire audiobook on like YouTube. So he says that you have to realize that you are, if you just like thinking about humans, you have to be aware of the fact that we are a little bit nuts. Oh, that's not his exact words. But it's basically like you have to admit you're kind of crazy if you're a human, because humans are pretty nutty. We're like the only species that can create war and murder and even in history cannibalism, which is not something that most animals would do. I mean, some animals do that, but yeah, it's just pretty crazy. Luci, you could probably afford to get your telomeres. I don't know what that measured. Basically, will tell you what your biological age is. Jay Silver, I know my biological age. You mean like how old you are? Or you mean like, do you mean the thing where like you measure your body and then it's like how old your body is? Is that the thing? Because my friend has a machine like that and I already know how old I am in terms of my body. It's actually younger than my real age. So I liked it. You just need a, oh God, it's just a number, NE14A. No. You know what I need? You know what I need? I need this to go to 3. I miss when you could defeat the flu with a bowl of noodles and veggies. Oh my God. After years of globalization, the world is becoming protectionist. Part of the reason being China is going to win at globalization. Well, people always said that China was the sleeping dragon, so I guess it's just waking up. But yeah, hold on. We need to let go of age. It is based on rotation around the sun on Earth as a standard, but we live in the universe. So we have no idea how old we really are. It's not a thing. No, it's facts, Gotyor. I agree with that. In terms of age, honestly, it's just because we decided to make it a thing. And I mean, it's just a number. So I don't believe, I've always been against the fact that, okay, you're 18 and now you can consent to a marriage, for example, and then a day earlier, if you're just 17 and 364 years old, you're all of a sudden incapable of making these decisions. If you think about it like that, it's pretty insane. So I don't think I agree with it. And I think different countries have different rules in, like, for example, when you can get married, when you can own a house, when you can start trading stocks and crypto. And due to my knowledge of this, I can never really get by the fact that I agree with whatever age limit is set for different countries. I just think, okay, this is what collectively this country decided. It doesn't mean that that is what's right. Let's put it that way. So again, my argument for when one could be allowed to trade, I definitely think that 18 is a wee bit late. And if it were up to me and I were to create the rules, I would allow people to create trading accounts probably even at 15, 16, maybe even 13, honestly. I mean, that's just what I believe in. I think maybe you shouldn't allow them to do margin, but if you're a 13-year-old and you saved up money from your piggy bank, or I don't know, your parents giving you bread pockets or whatever, or you cleaned your neighbor's lawn, I don't know, shoved away the snow, but you made the money on your own, why are you not allowed to invest that in the stock market when your parents can? It just is like not logical. So to me, a lot of things that people say about age is really dumb, and I don't buy it. I just kind of nod my head and go with it because I don't make the laws. But yeah, it's just a number. Telomeres are how your DNA breaks down and age. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, nor do I trust scientists. So I don't know. I would love to be a scientist or know a scientist. Just want to know more information that they know. But I don't think that matters to me. For me, it's more like, as long as I am healthy, it doesn't really matter the number, because I think there's a lot of people I know who are very youthful and they act and they have the energy of like a 60-year-old. So it's not so much about your age, it's more about how you feel every day and how healthy you are overall. I mean, you could be 60 and running marathons versus really, really young in your 20s, or being 16 years old and just sitting on the couch eating potato chips all day and not being able to run one lap. The God just loves to protect us. Stealth mode. How old is your hubby? Stealth mode, I'm taken. Never said I have a hubby or a wifey, but maybe I do. And you won't know the age of my SO. No personal information on here. So bald guys or guys with golden locks? What? The dragon is about to rise up. Yeah, I've seen so many memes about the whole Evergrande thing and the president of China. Oh my God, it's so crazy. I just really hope that all of that becomes yesterday's news soon. I mean, we'll talk about that on my second channel later, but got it. So I was just dust in the wind for 2 years. Damn, Thanos. To each his own, to each his own. Okay, I got standard. I really dislike in America, you're old enough to serve our country and risk your life. You should be able to drink if you're in the service. So I don't know, how young do they take them in at for military? Is it 18? It's 18, right? And then you can't drink until you're 20, 21. So in Canada, by the way, you can drink when you're 19, which is like only 2 years difference from America. But America and Canada being so close just makes one question. Like, what? Winnie the Pooh memes are bread and butter. Yes, they are, Jay Silver. Not going to argue that. I honestly love the original Winnie the Pooh meme. You know, the one where he's wearing his just regular Winnie the Pooh outfit, and then he gets more smug, and then afterwards he's wearing a suit. Oh, that one's hands down probably one of my ultimate faves. Usually 18, but as young as 17 if you're close to your birthday. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, Gotcha. I think if you're young enough to list, then you should also, oh no, you're old enough to list, then you should also be old enough to drink. Because that is a bigger decision than taking a sip of alcohol. Okay? Going to the military, I personally think, is a bigger decision. That's basically planning out your life for how long? How many years? Right? Like some people go in and they go in for like 8 years. That's basically planning out 8 years of your life. Whereas you drinking alcohol, I mean, actually, that is a lifetime decision if you get addicted. But if you don't get addicted, then it's not such a big decision. Let's be frank, not just old enough to enlist, but to kill. Yeah. So, yeah, let him drink. Jay Silver says, again, huge decision. Jason S says, yeah, actually, my dad joined at 17. Well, that is crazy young. I can't even imagine. Yeah, that's just nuts. You're risking your life. You can use a drink to take off the edge. But while I'm risking my life, I probably wouldn't want to drink while I'm out on the fields and then get shot at. I was enlisted in the Navy at 17, Bennett Jr. How many years were you in there for, if you don't mind us asking? When they declassify aliens and UFO during COVID, I wonder if they have to roll out AI to introduce extraterrestrials down the road. And they might be a higher power, I don't know, mind going everywhere. Four years. See, that's as long as university, college, high school. It's a long, long time and a big decision. Nothing cools the nerves when you're getting shot at like a glass of Jack. Gottier says, Bennett Jr., you get a good career out of it. Let's read Sup Karen and all in the chat. Hi, Aiden. Bennett Jr. says, yeah, I went to college after and got a job at Dell. So I don't know, do you get your college tuition? Do they assist you on it? Like, or is all of it paid off? Because I do know somebody who was in the Marine and all of the college tuition was paid off. If you're in the Taliban and 21, you still can't drink. Did not know that. New information coming in every day. I used to cry at the end of every Winnie the Pooh episode. Bennett Jr. Seriously? I don't think I cried once after any Winnie the Pooh episodes, but I barely remember watching one. I know I've seen it in books, but I definitely had a giant Winnie the Pooh doll. At least 3 different Winnie the Pooh dolls in my life. Totally worth it then. A friend of mine works for Hughes now at $100K a year, served 4 years in the Navy. GI Bill covers up to $80K. Alvin and the Chipmunks? I don't even think that's supposed to be sad. I don't think I watched the actual Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, though, but I need to one day. They look really, really adorable. BRB, guys. We are back. Just chat amongst yourselves. And if you haven't already, smash that like button. The music used to touch me. You mean their chipmunk voices used to touch you? Hi, guys. Okay, wait. Jay Solar says, dude, every character in Winnie the Pooh represents a mental disorder. Depression, schizophrenia, ADHD, OCD. Okay, I didn't know that. That's amazing you memorize all those, because I don't remember that those specific ones, but I do remember like way later, after I've already loved Winnie the Pooh forever, and I still do, that those that and then I realized that they were representing, I guess, these different disorders, but I didn't really memorize which one's who. But I'm just gonna guess depression was definitely Eeyore, because Eeyore was just, I was always confused why Eeyore was such a downer every single day. But then I kind of thought it was cute, because I'm like, some of these characters need to relax. ADHD, definitely Tigger. OCD, is it the rabbit? And then schizophrenia, I don't know who the schizophrenia one is. I don't know who schizophrenia is. But yeah, ADHD is definitely Tigger. But I'm glad that there are different ones, because honestly, I think it's kind of sweet. Like, I didn't think much of it when I was like younger. I was just like, oh, it's probably just because this group of friends needs like different personalities. I'm like, it would be really nuts if you just were friends with only Tiggers, and then they would all just be nuts every single day. Simpsons did it, except when they do musicals, then I like the next. What I ought to say, my cartoon that fits my thinking the most is South Park. I feel like they know my mind. Oh my God, Got Europe. That's right up my alley. I think literally South Park is my favorite TV show, cartoon TV show of all time. I mean, it's not really for kids, but I watched it as a child. So waking up Saturdays at like 4 a.m. to binge watch cartoons till noon, then go. You woke up at 4 a.m. to binge watch cartoons? Oh my God. When I was a kid, I would make sure I sleep till noon and then just fake sick and not go to school. Then go outside and play all day, and then come in the house, eat dinner, and watch wrestling. Man, life was great. Sounds like something you can do when you retire, Bennett Jr. Yes, the kid had schizophrenia. He literally talked to animals. Oh, okay. So the boy had schizophrenia. That's why he was talking to animals. I don't know. I feel like a lot of kids talk to their stuffed animals. Did you guys not? Captain Chaos. They still making Simpsons. I used to talk to my dog and cat. Maybe I have schizophrenia. I think most people talk to their dogs. At least most dog owners I know all talk to their animals. And the dogs don't talk back. So I think it's safe to say that if you talk to your stuffed animals or your Doge pillow, it's okay. It's okay. Getting up earlier cartoons was life. Still do that now from time to time. Why do you guys have to get up early for cartoons? I guess it's because I don't own cable, so I don't really get up early for anything. I just watch it on YouTube or stream it. Not really something I have to wake up early for. But I don't think South Park has done like a new episode lately. The last one I watched, I think they were talking about how the older people are all getting their shots, like going to a club. After that, I don't think there's been a new one, unless there is and I missed it. But I think, like, I don't know what it is. South Park's like kind of slacking lately on production. Maybe because they made so much money. I don't know. Did you guys know that there's actual South Park video games? I saw it outside. I didn't know that that was a thing. So they're making money left and right. Maybe they're just making too much off of like merchandise and video games and stuff like that, that they don't need to focus so much on the actual show, maybe, because they used to make episodes like all the time, or at least like once a week. Chase Silver, the animals talked back to Christopher. That's schizophrenia. But yeah, I think that's pretty interesting though, that Winnie the Pooh is one of the most famous like children books, children's stories, like children TV shows. but it talks about all those, well, I guess it's supposed to represent all these serious mental problems. I love self-help, but I guess you just see what you want to see. So even though I know now that it represents all those mental issues and disorders, it's still like a great cartoon for me. I don't know. You never watch Rick and Morty, Golder? No, I've watched it, but honestly, not religiously. I don't think I've watched more than like 3 episodes, and that's because it just happened to be on. I know there's like so many episodes that I'm supposed to watch that was recommended by people. I still haven't gotten to it. Like the pickle one, that's the one that I'm always recommended. I never got to watch, but I did have the Rick and Morty sauce at McDonald's. I don't know why. I was lucky one time when I went to McDonald's and they gave me the dipping sauce. Ever since I tried to get it, since that day, it's never been available. Pickle Rick, yes, TH69. I've been told to watch that. I think it's a good TV show. I just haven't gotten around to like watch nonstop. My aunt has a dog. She got to be emotional support animal, but at first she did it as a lie to get dog into place. Now it became a real disorder for her. See, power of suggestion. She fooled herself into believing her own BS. What? So, okay. So she didn't need an emotional support animal. And then now it's a real thing and she does need it. The power of lying, I think. She must be really, really good at it because from what I understand, if you are a truly good liar, you have to believe in your own lie. So that's why I personally think I'm good at doing it. But if you really want someone to believe your lie, you have to first believe in it yourself. So kind of like playing a character. And I think maybe your aunt just got too much into character to the point where she believed it. It's kind of nutty, but it happens. And thank you guys, all of you that's currently in this live stream. I don't know how you've been in here for so long, but please make sure you did smash that like button. I am going to peace out, though. I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to go on to my original channel, Living with Lucy, where I need to talk about today because we had a big day in the stock market and crypto market. So I'm going to leave now, but thank you all so much for joining this live stream. There will be more. Plenty of topics. I mean, feel free to throw me suggestions whenever you see me live on this channel, because I will start off with, for example, one topic like today with the disappearance of Gabby Petito, but there will always be whatever I'm currently thinking about on my mind. I'll do live streams of them. And then whenever you guys want to jump in, switch topic, feel free. All done. Thanks. Yes, I will see you guys on the main channel soon. Bye.